It was meant to be a peaceful evening, just a quiet family dinner, with a small circle gathered around a warm table. My parents were there, her mother, my younger sister, and the woman I once imagined I'd grow old beside. The table had been carefully laid, polished glassware catching the soft glow of flickering candles. A roast gently steaming in the center, like the heart of some old Sunday tradition. Everything looked perfect, but inside me, a slow churn of acid twisted my gut. I passed my father a drink, forcing a smile that didn't quite reach my eyes. Then she walked in with him. He was tall, smug, maybe 5 years younger than me, the kind of man who wore arrogance like a luxury timepiece designed to be obvious, designed to be envied. Without a word of introduction, he sauntered in like he owned the room. "Evening," he said, casually grinning as he dropped into a chair beside her like he'd done it 100 times before. My mother froze, her wineglass suspended mid-sip. My dad turned to me with a confused frown. Her mother offered a tight, polite smile, likely thinking he was just a friend or some co-worker tagging along. And then she stood. "I have an announcement," she said, loud enough to pierce the air, and still every fork and breath at the table. "This is Jason. He's moving in with us." The silence that followed cracked through the room like a thunderclap. Jason gave a ridiculous wave, like some prize at the end of a game show, and then she smirked, that cruel, satisfied smirk that carved itself permanently into my memory. I looked around the room. My sister's mouth was ajar, frozen mid-reaction. My father's expression had turned to granite. And me? I smiled, because unlike them, I already knew. For weeks I'd been watching it unfold, collecting, tracking, connecting the signs, odd charges on the credit card, a new perfume that never made an appearance when she was around me, work emergencies that conveniently landed on weekends, and then the hotel key card I found tucked beneath the passenger seat. Then came the messages, the photos, the voicemail where she whispered his name like it was sacred. But I never confronted her. I waited, because this night, this little dinner, theater of betrayal wasn't about heartbreak. It was about justice, and I wasn't the audience. I was the director. Jason sat there, soaking in the tension like it was some standing ovation. My wife clung to his arm, eyes gleaming like she'd just landed a lead role in some low-rent romantic drama. She looked at me, waiting for a scene, tears, a breakdown, a fight. Instead, I stood and raised my glass to bold moves. I said evenly, "An unexpected company." The room froze. No one knew whether to cheer or leave. I didn't care. The discomfort, it was deliberate, unnecessary. Incision. Sarah let out a stilted laugh. Jason lifted his glass, clueless as ever. "Cheers, man," he said. "No hard feelings, right?" "None," I replied, the tightness of my smile sending pain down my jaw. He truly believed I'd accept this, that I'd just roll over. I excused myself and stepped into the kitchen. My father followed, his voice low and sharp. "Son, what the hell is going on?" "I know," I said. "Give it a day. Trust me." He searched my face for a long moment, then gave a single nod. He saw it, the fire, the calculation, the cold resolve. While Jason stuffed bites of rosemary chicken into his mouth and Sarah giggled like a schoolgirl. They had no idea I had already done more in silence than either of them could undo in years. I'd retained 2 lawyers, transferred 70 grand into an account under my name, installed hidden cameras, one of which had captured them together in my garage. I'd made a copy of the house deed, the same house I paid for long before we ever said I do. And the cherry on top, Jason's amazing new job, the one Sarah had supposedly helped him land, was at a company where I quietly served on the board of directors. He was already standing on a trapdoor. 2 days later, I walked into the kitchen and caught Jason chugging the last of my orange juice. "Morning, champ," he said, wiping his mouth. "Hope it's cool I used some of your cologne. Big first day." I gave a cool smile. "You start today." He nodded, brimming with smugness. "Senior analyst, Madison and Knox. Sarah's a miracle worker." What he didn't know was that his miracle was fiction, a position crafted just for him, a fake title, a leash. By noon, I was in a glass, Conference room with Marissa, the real HR head and a longtime friend from college. She handed me a folder thick with evidence, his social media posts, internal chats, texts from Sarah, and the security footage from my garage. He's out. By end of day, she said, and I'll make it loud. By 3 p.m., Jason was being marched out of the building, clutching a cardboard box of useless desk clutter. By 4 o'clock, his LinkedIn read open to work, and by 5 o'clock, Sarah was calling me in a frenzy. Did you do something to Jason's job? She asked, her voice tight with worry. I thought you said he was more successful than me, I replied, calm as glass. Strange, isn't it? She didn't answer, just silence, dense, suffocating silence. That night, she tried to play nice, made my favorite dinner, wore the perfume I used to compliment. She even suggested we talk. I smiled, listened, let her pretend this was salvageable. What she didn't know, the joint accounts were drained. The cards were canceled. The car she drove, my car, was scheduled for repossession. Every move I made had been silent, precise, not chaos, surgery. The final act came the following weekend. Jason, still jobless but still pretending to be a rock star, decided to throw a party to lift the energy. Sarah agreed, no doubt hoping to further rub salt into wounds she didn't realize had already healed into armor. She thought she was winning. She had no idea the roof above her was already falling. She aired our private mess on Facebook. That was her biggest mistake. That night, I didn't stop the party. I let them laugh and dance through the halls of my home. I let them sip my wine, let them mock the life I built, because the real celebration came in the morning. They woke up to cardboard boxes stacked outside and an eviction notice nailed to the front door, a formal document, blunt and final. The property was no longer under their control. Sarah's voice cracked. But this is our home, she whispered, stunned. Double quotes. No, I said, stepping into the doorway. You were crashing here. Now you can crash somewhere else. I handed her a flash drive. Inside, screenshots of her messages, audio clips of Jason mocking me, footage from the hidden cameras, a spreadsheet with every dishonest transaction she'd made from our joint account. Attached was a note. This is what your parents and mine will be reviewing at tonight's dinner. Her face drained of color. Jason tried to snatch the drive from my hand. I stepped aside and let him stumble. I got in my car and left, passing the locksmith, arriving right on time. That night, Sarah's sister texted me. What happened? She's losing her mind. Our parents are horrified. I can't even look at her. I didn't reply. I just posted a quiet status. Sometimes silence is the loudest revenge. And oh, how that silence roared. Comments exploded. Her social standing crushed, her family shamed. Jason, once full of swagger, had become a jobless squatter with no couch to sleep on. A week passed. For me, peace; for her, collapse. She moved in with her parents, who barely spoke to her. Jason vanished after his car was impounded. His business partner dropped him. Turns out he used my name to register for some sketchy crypto scheme. Now, the cops had their eyes on him. I wasn't celebrating. I was tracking, waiting. One last move remained. It was raining when she showed up at my office. No call, no warning. Just soaked hair, tired eyes, and clothes that didn't fit anymore. Can we talk? She asked. I said nothing. I lost everything, she murmured. I was stupid. I believed the wrong person. You were always there for me. I know I don't deserve your help, but can you help me get back on my feet? Her voice cracked. Her eyes swam. My tone stayed flat. You didn't just betray me. You tried to erase me. You wanted to take my home, my money, my peace. And now you want help. Her head lowered, her hands trembling. There's a difference between making a mistake and becoming a monster. I continued. You made your choice. Now you live with it. I slid an envelope across the table. Inside, a signed agreement waiving spousal support, a letter to her employer detailing ethical misconduct, and a printout of her social post mocking loyal husbands. You want mercy? I asked. Sign this, walk away, and maybe I won't make the rest of your life even harder. She signed. I walked her out. That night, I ate dinner alone in my new apartment. Warm lighting, quiet air, a meal I cooked for myself and truly enjoyed. I smiled not because her life had collapsed, but because I had reclaimed mine. 3 months passed. Everything had changed. New city, new job. I was consulting for a non-profit that helps people escape toxic relationships. One morning, sipping coffee on my balcony, I received a letter, no return address. But I recognized the handwriting instantly. A wedding invitation. Jason and Sarah invite you to celebrate their love and the beginning of their new journey. I laughed loud and honest, startling a flock of birds off the railing. Inside was a handwritten note. I know this may seem strange, but I wanted to reach out. I'm trying to heal. You were such a big part of my life. Maybe we can be friends. Again, please come. She hadn't changed, not even a little. So I sent her a package in return. Inside, a copy of the deed to a beach house I'd bought using the money from selling our old one. A photo of me and my new partner, someone kind, someone real. And a yellow sticky note. Thanks for the wake-up call. I found real peace. Hope you find yours too. If not with each other, then far, far away. That was it. No more calls, no more texts, just a wall of silence. The best kind of revenge, letting people destroy themselves.